Hi everyone, it's Melanie, and today I'm going to introduce you to my sister Kara.
Hi.
So I told you in one of my previous videos that I wanted to interview her because she recently went off of sugar, and we want to tell you her story. Hopefully it will inspire you if you've been trying to eliminate sugar from your life. So you ready, Kara?
Yes.
Okay, she's kind of nervous to talk about this, but I've been off sugar for about 8 years now, coming up on 8 years, and Kara has always had a really big sweet tooth ever since she was little. She's 5 years younger than me, and we have 3 other siblings as well, and Kara was always the one who couldn't ever save anything that was sweet. Like if we had Easter, she would eat all of her chocolate in one day, and my brother would save it, and next Easter he would still have half of his Easter basket left. So anyways, so for Kara, sugar has kind of just always been something that she's really tended towards, and more recently she's been noticing that it might not be serving her so well. So I challenged her to give it up for 3 weeks. Only recently when she started to really seem ready for that change, which I was kind of really surprised even happened. But I want her to tell her story and see if you can resonate with some of it too. So tell me, Kara, just a little bit about why you think you started to even be willing and open to letting sugar go.
So I started thinking about it around 2 years ago after watching a documentary, but it seemed really daunting and overwhelming at the time, and I really was interested and intrigued by it, but I also just thought, there's no way I can do that. Like, between work events, seeing desserts everywhere, a lot of my favorite foods are sweets, I never thought it was possible, but for the last few years, I've been experiencing symptoms just, with acid reflux or heartburn or racing heart things, or just a lot of things that it's hard for me to put the pieces together. Was it diet? Was it work? Was it sleep? Was it stress? And so it got to the point where I just really wanted to make a change.
So you have a really high stress job, you still do, and we'll talk about that. You feel like you can manage that better now that you're not on sugar. But did you really feel like the way you were eating was even impacting how you were feeling before?
I would say it didn't really occur to me. So just as an example, I remember there was a day at work, I started feeling really bad and my chest was hurting and it was really tight. And I, for some reason, thought, oh, I need to drink a Sprite right now because that can settle your stomach.
Yeah.
And I started feeling worse. And the worse I felt, the more Sprite I drank.
Oh my gosh.
And now looking back on it, it's like the worst thing I could have done for myself. But that's just what I thought I should do.
Yeah, so now kind of in retrospect, something that we know is that Kara was probably having some blood sugar swings that were contributing to her symptoms, and that probably sounds like you just added on to that roller coaster that you were already on. So you decided 2 years ago to start thinking about it, but you weren't really ready to make the change, and then recently this summer, just maybe even 2 months ago or so, you started getting really serious about it. And just tell me a little bit about why you think you got to the point where you were actually ready to do something.
So this is a little strange, but I have a promotion for work coming up this year, and I've been thinking a lot about how do I manage my job and manage my personal life, and something has to change. I can't keep going the way I'm going. And so I just started reflecting on a lot of things, and I think that kind of sparked it in terms of I've come a certain distance so far, but I can't go another 5 years the same way the last 5 years has been going.
Okay, so you felt like something in your life needed to change. And then what led you to sugar in particular? I obviously talk about it. And Kara knows what I do for a living. She knows I'm a nutritionist, and she knows how I eat. So that, I'm sure, had some influence. But was there a time where you felt like you had started to eat less, and then you started noticing that it was having an impact on you?
I would say I started feeling like whenever I would eat it, I would start saying to myself, I know I shouldn't be having this right now, but I literally can't stop. And then I think that was around the time when you challenged me.
Yeah, so I challenged Kara to eliminate sugar, and her big question was, well, what do you mean by sugar? And I said, refined white sugar. I said you can still have maple syrup and coconut sugar and honey, and you can have sweet things, and you can have desserts. And I did another video where I showed you the cookies that Kara has. It helped her get through this, that have approved sugars in them. So we definitely had her set up to have things in the meantime. And it was 3 weeks, so 21 days in a row. And I think you kind of, had to start over.
Right after my birthday.
Yeah, and she had to start over. But then, so what actually happened? Like, you had the 3 weeks and you had a work trip in there. So it was like, you knew if you could do it that, you know, those 3 weeks that you could probably do it longer. But like, what convinced you to stay off of sugar, at least the white sugar that you're off of right now?
So I would say the first week was really hard for me. I was having headaches. I was extremely fatigued. I was, you know, questioning if it was worth it. But I really wanted to stick with it because you told me 3 weeks, you need to get off of it, find a new normal balance, and then go from there. So the first week was the most difficult. And then, like you said, I had a work trip in there that was hit around the second or third week. And that was a huge challenge for me because I know I always eat bad food on that trip, and there's all the desserts I love and all the foods I have every time I go on this trip. And I just went into it mentally prepared saying, okay, like, these foods are off limits this time, but I told myself I was going to go to the grocery store, get my healthy snacks, get, you know, the kombucha drinks, and and get those cookies I really like, so I could have them. And so when other people were eating cake or sweets or other goodies, I had something that I could still eat too. Okay,
that's good. So you had your substitutes and you didn't feel like you're completely deprived.
Yeah.
And then talk a little bit about some of the symptoms that kind of have resolved for you. So the 3 weeks was, let's see, it probably ended about a month ago. So you did 3 weeks and then you continued for another month. So it's been maybe 7 or 8 weeks now. And so talk about some of the ways that you feel better and the reasons why you don't think you'll go back.
Yeah. So the biggest thing for me is that I feel like my mind is clear.
Okay.
Like, it used to be fuzzy and now it's completely clear. Like, I have the ability to focus so much better at work. I can get things done so much more quickly. And that's probably the biggest thing. And then I have any digestive problems I used to experience are completely gone. So heartburn, acid reflux, racing heart, anything like that is just, it's literally evaporated.
Yeah, and so some of those symptoms kind of seem a little bit unrelated to each other. And I think you were surprised at how many things resolved that were all actually related to eating sugar. And not just the sugar, but actually the way Kara's body was handling the sugar, I think. It's not just, oh, I ate sugar, so I'm going to have heartburn. It's just what was actually happening in her body after she ate it with blood sugar and digestion, all the things that she's talking about.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, like, I've tasted sugar since then, or had, you know, a little bite of something here or there, and I immediately feel this rush to my head, and I can feel the head rush, and then I immediately feel a little foggy, and I can't think as well. So now if I'm at, say, work lunch and dessert comes up, well, I know if I eat this piece of cake right now, I'm not going to be able to function for the rest of today, and I just lose that time.
Yeah.
So it's just not worth it to me anymore.
Yeah. I'm just surprised, you know, personally knowing, Kara, that that you were able to make that change. And I know you told me that one of the reasons you did it was because you didn't think I thought you could do it, if that made any sense.
Yeah, you challenged me, and I wanted to prove you I could do it.
Yeah, she wanted to prove to me that she could do it, and she did. And I'm just excited because I feel like, you know, it's really hard. Everyone can say you're going to feel better and you should do it, but in the moment, you're doing what feels like a crutch almost. Like, you were using sugar for energy. Like, you weren't just eating it because you like it, but I think you were depending on it in some ways. And so you kind of had to go through those withdrawal symptoms and be willing to, like, experience maybe worse symptoms at the beginning to come out on the other end and feel better now. So would you say that's accurate?
Yeah. And the only other thing I'll say is that if you had told me at the very beginning that...
Don't tell them this part, no.
What?
You can tell them.
If you had told me that at the end of this 3-week challenge, I would never want to go back, and the last time I ate a Butterfinger was the last time I was ever eating a Butterfinger, I don't think I could have done it.
She ate Butterfingers for breakfast, by the way.
But now it's all worked out.
Yeah, so I think sometimes when you finally get to that point, because this was the same thing I noticed in my own story when I gave up sugar 8 years ago, is that I got to the point where I felt like something needed to change, and I go to the professionals and they have no options for me that I feel like make sense for my life. That I don't understand what's going on in my body. I'm not given anything that I can do in my life to make a difference. And same thing happened to you, is that nobody was offering you a solution, so you found one for yourself. And I think that's really amazing when we can control how we feel and we can decide whether or not we're going to be productive today based on what we eat. It's just really just phenomenal when you experience that, and no one can give you that information. It's just really an experience you have to have.
Yeah.
So that 3 weeks that you just commit to and then see how the experience unfolds, then from there you can decide what to do with it.
Right. And I think that's one of the things you told me when you were coaching me through it also was that, like, get yourself on a baseline and figure out how your body feels without all of that stuff, so that if you start experiencing things in the future, then you have a better ability to really hone in on what's driving that. And I think that also appealed to me.
Yeah, because you don't have to chase all your symptoms anymore if you have a laundry list of 10 or 15 different things that you're experiencing. You don't
Unrelated things.
Exactly. You feel like, well, if I have digestive symptoms, I got to go to the gastroenterologist. And if my heart's racing, I have to go to the cardiologist. And all these things are actually related to sugar and blood sugar.
Right.
And, well, and maybe not all of them were, but at least now you can see what's left. Right. So sometimes these really simple things that are the hardest things to do in your life on a day-to-day basis make the biggest impact in how you actually feel in the end. So anyways, this was a really long video, but I am really excited that Kara was willing to share her story. So thank you, Kara. And I hope that was helpful for you. If you have questions or you feel like we left something out, definitely comment below on this video, and either me or Kara will get back to you. And hopefully this supports you in your journey as well. So anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
That's all.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Let me know if you need any more support with that. You can definitely do it. And Kara's a good example of that. So talk to you soon. Bye.